Second practice in Suzuka and a big crash for Jack Doohan. Brought out the red flags early.
He's turned in with DRS on. He's turned in flat and he's still got DRS open and he's lost rear load and whoa.
Mate, you all okay?
I'm okay, yeah. What happened?
We're just looking at everything on our side here.
So those 5 green lights on the left-hand side there indicate that DRS is open. If you're turning in flat, DRS will shut. So you've got your gap in the rear wing. It opens to help your straight line speed or overtaking. You have to manually shut it by pressing the button if you're not lifting off the throttle. And he turned in with his foot buried flat out. The DRS then did not shut. He had to be pressing the button before he turns in to shut the DRS. I think he's turned in flat chat anyway, which is a committed approach, and just not got the rear load.
Having sat out FP1 in favour of Alpine reserve driver Ryo Hirakawa, this was the Australian's first quick lap. Thankfully, he made it out of the wreckage under his own steam, but he was taken away by the medical team for checks as a precaution. As for his car, that'll take quite a bit of repairing to be ready for Saturday's sessions. Drivers were allowed back on track with around 30 minutes left on the clock, but sadly, the section was halted again not long after, when Fernando Alonso put a wheel on the grass at turn 8.
He turned in from the grass, yeah. Maybe a bit lucky to get that stop before the barrier on the outside as well. Turn in from the grass and you got no grip, basically.
Yeah, I missed back in turn 8. All good. Bit of bouncing on something strange from the entry.
With his Aston Martin stranded on the stones, the two-time champion was forced to take a scooter ride back to the garage. The lights went green again with barely a third of the session left. Drivers were eager to get going. George Russell attempting a pass on pit exit and then going wheel to wheel with his 2024 nemesis Max Verstappen on the outlap. The 2 interruptions had thwarted Lando Norris's early efforts, the current Drivers' Championship leader having to wait until quite late to put in a lap time worthy of his McLaren status. But once he'd slapped on the softs, he'd clocked the quickest tour of the day so far. But then we had another stoppage. A third red flag, this time because a section of the grass between turns 7 and 8 was in flames. Cue Suzuka's trusty fire marshals, who did sterling work keeping the blaze from spreading. Not content with just fighting the defending champion in the dying minutes, Russell tussled with Charles Leclerc for track position. Verstappen, just as he had in FP1, was struggling with the feel of the Red Bull.
It's like a front end at all. Front end searing everywhere.
There was a fourth and final red flag, again caused by a fire beside the circuit, but not before Oscar Piastri could usurp his McLaren teammate to take the fastest lap of the day, clocked at 1 minute 28.114, some 800ths quicker than Verstappen's pole lap here last year. So not exactly a representative session, but there was a familiar papaya tinge to the top of the timing tables, Piastri and Norris completing a McLaren 1-2. Isaac Hadjar finished P3 ahead of Lewis Hamilton, with Liam Lawson a satisfying 5th. Then came Russell, Leclerc, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz. P11 for Alex Albon, he was ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, Gabriel Bortoleto, Esteban Ocon, Oliver Behrman, Kimi Antonelli, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and the unfortunate Jack Doohan.